All right, so it is, what is it, January 31st, 2023. So here's the mighty Kia Sedona EX. And today, I want to do something, at least I'm going to try. I don't know if it's possible or not. But it's a 2002 Kia Sedona, right? It's about 100,000 miles. Been a good little van for me. It's not the most luxurious thing, but you know what? It's paid off. And I just basically use it to transport stuff like, last July, hot water heater went out. It's behind there. And it didn't go out, but I had a slab leak. So I had to rent a jackhammer, use the Kia. I had to go to Home Depot, get a new hot water heater, use the Kia. I have all the seats out of it. That one right there I took apart one of the rear seats, third row seats, just to see how it would come apart. And this round, I'm going to switch out or fix somehow the driver's seat, the bottom. Okay, so, I mean, it's not a horrible seat or anything. I got it all the way up right now, but it's just this part right here, it just sinks too far down. So the foam under here is collapsed. It's been like that ever since I got it, pretty much. Must have been a kind of a chunky woman, grandma, that owned this. I don't know how much she weighed, but she weighed a lot. You know, compared to the passenger seat, it's nice and firm. This one, you can push it down too far. So either the springs or the foam. I think it's more the foam that has collapsed. And this is what the foam looks like on these. This is the back seat, so the front seat's going to be real similar. Nobody ever used the back seat, but it's got a big old giant, like, I don't know what you would call that. But I took this out in case when I get that out, I was thinking of adding some of this foam. Do you know what, I looked it up for Kia, what the Kia wants just for this piece of foam? $1,500. $1,500 for a piece of foam. So no, it's not going to happen. But I can use this for parts, basically. Some of the side bolsters I can add to it. And then another thing I was thinking of doing is swapping the passenger over to the driver's side. Just the bottom parts. All right? See, that's almost like brand new. And that's what I want to try. That would be ideal. My wife goes, well, why don't you just take it somewhere and have them do that? I go, well, it's an awful lot of work. You take the seat out, but then taking the seats apart. This is a non-electric seat, and I couldn't believe how much work that was. So that's where all the labor's going to come in. That's where they're going to charge you, $250 labor to take it apart and $250 to put it back together. And, I could bring them just the bottom part, but they're still going to charge you a couple $100, unless you go to Tijuana, someplace like that, but who's going to do that? So this time around, I'm just going to experiment, and I'm pretty sure that one will swap over. It might be a little different where the seat belt is cut out, but hey, be a heck of a lot easier, and so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I didn't even disconnect the battery, so there's about 4 of these type of connectors that come apart. You look at it with a flashlight. Use a little screwdriver like this to push on the corresponding thing. You push down, they just come apart. There's 14 millimeters. There's 2 of them are studs. One here, and I think one over there, and then right here, it just goes straight outside. 2 bolts, and then Boom. It's loose. It probably weighs 1,000 pounds. Now this seat, it has an air bladder, you know, for the lumbar. It doesn't have heated seats or cooled seats or all that stuff, you know, which is fine with me. I was thinking of just sticking a piece of foam through this, but you can't because the way the pleats go on the seat, it's all sewed. Okay, got the seat out. You know, it's not that bad. I was able to pick it up. I still wore a back belt just because weird things like that when you're not used to doing that every day. The next day you go, God, my back is out. What did I do? Especially when you're 70 years old. So this is a little part that fell out of one of the connectors. It's okay, it's not broken. So I'm gonna save that. Just keep all your parts. This one, I'm pretty sure this thing's gonna have to come out. No big deal. This was like maybe 8 minutes. Most of the time was spent looking for the right wrenches. Close this so my battery doesn't drain. Yeah, and there it is. The driver's seat for the mighty Kia. So now it's a matter of figuring out how it comes apart because I can't find any instructions. But I got kind of an idea, you know, when I took the third row, which I'll never use. That's what the manual seat looks like. There's this one part. This part here is for the back. This part here is the base. And then the part behind it is where the seat bottom attaches to, and that attaches to the base. Oh, yeah. I've never done this before, so I guess now I'm just gonna start taking this thing apart. It looks like this part here has to come out. There's all kinds of hidden catches. Good, there's a screw there. Gotta take this off in one piece. These things, I hope I don't break them, but oh good. So it comes out. It's just like that. Save your parts. I guess it's kind of a pop fit. Yeah, I'll just get a plastic pry tool on either end and gingerly take it out. This part, it'll probably come out when we get these screws out. I think that's my next step. Okay, I got that part off. There's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phillips screws. Then the switches, they just pop off. And then there's the electrical connector right there. And that's just really easy. I mean, my God. They're just little push things come out. And then next, I believe the back has to come off. Yeah, I believe the back has to come off. That's going to be fun. Okay, looking at underneath this driver's seat. I'm taking a video so I can remember how it all goes back together. This goes through here like that. These little straps hold the wires out of the way. So you gotta take that off. This is gonna have to come off. Looks like, I don't know if it's a tie wrap or what.
kind of looks like it was a tie wrap. Maybe I'll put a little screwdriver under there to release it. Other than that, oh God, there's a lot going on. There's all the electric motors. So bright. Sun kind of blinds you. Nice having all the light to see though, huh? Yeah. Okay, keep working at it, try to figure it out. Basically I want to get this bottom, you can see this is a metal right here that your ass sits in, and it's kind of bowed out like that. I'd like to compare it against the other one and see if it's just that metal that's bad. Like a bowed out but big butt mama. So yeah, we'll keep checking it out. Okay, I'm looking at pictures that I've scavenged off the internet. So this is the bottom. And there's this hinge, and there's 1, 2, 3. I don't know, maybe little bolts. What are they? Key manual, paint job, timing belt. God. There's that metal plate there. That one looks a little curved, so that looks normal. So the seat rests down on this. God, what a nightmare, huh? I hate seats. Unless they're real simple seats. Like a rocking chair. Okay, there's that seat part. And that. So there's this here. There's a little electrical connector. I pulled this up and you can unclip it right here. Maybe there's one on the other side. I don't know what it's for. Unless the seat has a motor inside of it, I don't understand. So basically this part, this whole piece this whole thing has to come off. That's the next thing we gotta do. And it looks like there's holes right there for holding it on. All right. And that's the bottom. I know to get this part off of this whole section that attaches to this, there's Allen's. There's one here, one back here, one here. And I gotta get the thing to slide back, but I don't have any power. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get power to it. I guess I can figure something out, but need a car battery. So these are the motors for the seat to go back and forth. Tilts up, the seat tilts up and down and back and forth. Okay, so trying to get my mind around this thing here. Yeah. So for right now, we just have to get it to look like this. Not sure what that is for. So this looks like it comes down and rolls down like a sock or something, so I'll try that. Okay, yes, I already had it started.
There's that little electrical connector on this side. This is some kind of a bungee cord to hold it, to hold something. So I guess this whole part here eventually comes down. So I'm going to try to unroll each side. Yeah, that one side was 14 millimeter on really tight, but got it off. This side, another story. There's another bolt that's about right at the end of my finger, right there. Hard to get to. I think it's a 14. I think if I take that off, then maybe this will lift off. I don't think I need to take this off. Under here, there's a nut or something you can tighten if these things are loose. So, a seatbelt thing that, yeah, getting this separated from here is going to be a challenge. See, there's a, right there, that's an Allen. And then there's another one right here. So I have to get the seat to go back somehow. And then it's an electric seat with these motors. So, trying to figure out which motor is which. So you got the main motor here. These screws here is what, there's one here and there's one there. That's what makes this part, this stationary. This part goes forward, backward, forward, backward. So with the wiring to this, there's the wire right there. It just looks like it's just two wires. I could disconnect it there and apply 12 volts to it, either one way or the other, forward, backward. This motor also, when you hit the right, I guess the right combination, let's see, I'm trying to figure out how does it move the backrest. I don't know if the backrest has a motor in it or not. It might. There was one electrical connector in there. We'll see. Okay, looking at this. This would be this must be a passenger side. Yeah. This must be the passenger side. Come on. So there's a motor on the outside. I got one bolt out. I don't know if it's right here, over on, let's see, on the inside. That's where the armrest is. So I believe there's one bolt here, one bolt here, one here, one here. I'll have to double check, but yeah, it's kind of a drag for this armrest. God, it is so bright out here. That's like a 16. And I'm trying to get, I can't even get the socket to clear this plastic right here. I don't know how they did it. They must have had a real thin wall socket when they put this on and tightened it. Either that or this plastic part comes apart, but maybe it does, but it looks like it's just one piece and it goes down.
It's underneath that bolt, and that bolt's holding it to that. And this is not flexible, not rubbery, so it will not allow the 16 millimeter to. I guess I could round this out a little bit, but then the part that goes in here, the beauty cover, is this. That's what it looks like. Stuck a screwdriver in there and pushed 2 screwdrivers either side, just start pushing it until it comes out. This thing kind of locks in like that. I could always open this up just a little bit, cut it a little bit, take this and just silicone it back in. I'm trying to do a good job, but I'm telling you, it's just it's crap like that just slows you down. I'm able to get this 16. I mean, talk about how are you going to put it back together? I think it's probably a bolt that's this long. How are you gonna, it makes you wonder, how do they put this stuff together like that? I don't know if all of this was off. It'd have to be. But then all of this is sewed down here. The whole thing is sewed and fastened. Well, anyways. Well, it's turning into a mess. So getting this bolt out I can get it out, but I have the other one out and this thing still isn't loose. So there might be, I think there's 2 bolts. There might be another one up here. I have no idea how to get to that without taking this back cover off. I don't know how they did that though. It's all the back is sewed to the front down at the bottom. So, jeez. So anyway, this is my plan of action. I just don't want a soft seat, So I cut the hog rings. I bought a kit off Amazon for, I don't know, $15. Comes with the pliers and all the hog rings and stuff. There's another motor. Yeah. So I've got this disconnected from right here, and I checked the passengers. Same. It's got this kind of round. I thought maybe this thing had caved in a little bit, but it's more this foam. This one's different than the 3rd row seat that I took apart. So I could add a piece of foam right there. And these are held on. There's more hog rings, I believe. They're buried somewhere in here. When I took off of the 3rd row seat, there were slits here, and you could see the hog rings, and then you cut them, and then this separates, and they put that on there so that it's got a nice pleats like that. So what I'm thinking, since this is such a pain, is just adding a nice, maybe a 1-inch piece of foam right here. You'll see that's deteriorated right there. That's real soft, hard. So that's getting in and out. The other side, it's okay. This is good and tight right here, but yeah, I could just add foam to this whole area here. Right here, I can right here I can cut this back. This could be hard doing it attached, but I can cut this section out and add foam from the third seat, and then cut it and then shape it and glue it on with contact cement on both surfaces. You wait 10 minutes and then you put it together, and it's not coming apart. I think I'll do that since these seats are such a pain. I could imagine like a brand new Hyundai people are paying $50,000 for. I can't believe it. I think I got this thing for $3,500 like 8 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. It's been a good little van. I mean, I've done the timing belt, water pump, suspension, brakes, just normal stuff. It's never broken down on me, other than replace the battery type thing. But for this, I think that's all I'll do. I guess after 100,000 miles, the foam wears out. Yeah, that's going to be the plan of action. Okay, plan of action here. So there were hog rings holding all of these corners down here, here, and there. Now I have access where I can glue some foam up here and then put a little bit of foam down here, and that should stretch it out and give a nice ass padding. Yeah, I'm not going to take the passenger seat out. That's just insane. And I can probably just cut this one apart, use this, and then take the back and slice some of this to add it. They're very well made seats. Not as good as a Mercedes, but there's a lot to car seats. Who knew? And this is a simple one. Yeah, you basically have to destroy the back almost, unless you know exactly what you're doing to take this back part out. Only thing I could figure out was to cut the stitch on the back side and on the front side, be able to lift this out. I don't know how they stitched it when they put it on there, but weird. Yeah, you can look at a lot of YouTube videos. Car seats are different, but they kind of basically, the same. At least I got it this far, and this really doesn't, it doesn't feel horrible, That's why I'm thinking this thing here, maybe, there's also, this thing is held on by springs down here, here, and these springs can get weak, They feel tight. And there's straps, anti-squeaking stuff, straps. See if anything's loose down here. Okay. Here's a piece of foam from the back seat. Third row seat. Never going to use those seats. They've been sitting in my shed for 8 years. Even when you had those seats in there, I guess maybe for a family with little tiny kids or something, but it just took up it was just too crowded in there. So I still have the 2 second row ones. Those I'll keep, but the third row is just taking up space. But yeah, so just using a kitchen knife to cut works pretty good. Cuts it like butter, pretty much. that way. You get the idea. Yeah, so I just mark it about 1 inch all the way around. Hopefully I can cut this. Don't want it too thick on that seat because then the leather cover won't really fit well. This is just enough, and then there's going to be some on the bottom side too. So they're not perfect, but pretty good. So trim this a little bit more. I think that should give me enough cushion right there. And I can trim, see how this is rounded off these corners? I have to do that too. I don't know if it's on, yeah, it's on both sides. Here's the front piece. I'll trim that up a little better too. Add a little bit maybe on here. I think I'll shave it down some more. Yeah, my legs used to get cramps from here because it would kind of sink in on long trips. So hopefully it'll help it out. This foam is awfully messy. I just got it all over me everywhere. So just take a lid like this, take a nail, punch holes through it, and then you just go like that, like a cheese grater, and it takes it down and shapes it further. Okay, and have a shop vac because it's gonna get everywhere. Man, am I making a mess. Stuff, it's like it's just sticking to me like Velcro. So I just got both pieces on here, just kind of trial fitting. I don't have anything latched down. This is not a perfect seat anyway, but it's a lot firmer here. So I got one in the front. These are going to be tied down with hog rings here and here. Right here is a little bit of a ledge. I could move this one back a little bit, I think. But it's just a trial fit. It's a trial fit. So this one, yeah, I can move it back a little bit, shave it down in the back just a tiny bit so you don't have a line right here. So that's what I got to do. Well, it's pretty hokey, but I think it'll work. Just added it's about an inch of foam. Right here, contact cement. I'm fixing a patch on a rip right here with contact cement. A little piece of leather I cut off. I'm just going to put it back together as is. Also got inside here, I added another piece of foam for this mechanism. So this is the main support, and it's got springs on it, so when you sit on it, it's real bouncy, real soft for the driver. The other seats don't have that. It's just a metal grid, which is a little more stable than this. So if these springs get weak, that could be a big issue. I'm sure they are weak. They feel strong. I don't know how I could strengthen them up, but there's, what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 springs. Yeah, but that's what takes most of your weight, so it would be nice if I could strengthen it up. I don't even think you could buy new springs, but I'm sure that they've been stretched out over from 2002. What is that, like years and years? I just noticed that there's one other bolt on this side over here that's accessible. And I think maybe if I took that one out, I thought I did. I took something out. Maybe it was on the other side.
and get this back off. But it's so weird. It's all sewn right. It's attached right here. I don't know how they put it together, but everything is sewn together. After a while, you just go, okay, this is as far as I want to go. And there's a lot of gears on the inside of this seat mechanism because of the electric motor does something. So I'm kind of afraid to break plastic gears taking it apart. So I'm gonna just do a little patch job. It should be fine. It looks so strange. There's no seat. They stole my catalytic converter. Well, they stole my seat. I thought of something else. Since those springs are like take the main weight, if this doesn't work, give me support. Then I can always take, since nobody really rides in this van anymore. The seats are easy enough to take out. They're 10 minutes and you got the seat out on the table. I could take the springs, switch the springs from this unit to the unit in the passenger seat, since those springs are still good and tight. I looked online. You can't really buy the springs, about 8 of them like that. Maybe you can, but I seriously doubt it. It's such an, just old, obsolete, no longer available parts. They sell the entire assemblies and everything, but you're talking, $1,700, $2,500 for just the bottom, the whole assembly. And who wants to do that? So we'll just try it like this. I'll get it back together today. I should probably vacuum underneath the seat since it's out. All right, so this thing's really hard to get back on, this cover. So I just siliconed it on here. It's hard getting this thing off because of that 16 millimeter bolt, and you can't get the socket through the opening without destroying it. There, if you want to do this procedure and get this thing off, there is another big 16 millimeter bolt right up here. Same thing with one right up in here. You might have to get this one out. Or it might be one here, then this thing comes up. Then I imagine it slips off, but I don't want to mess with it, so I'm just doing this. So now I've got everything glued, ready for the Hog Rings, and this is a Hog Ring plier. See how it's got a little groove in there? So this thing goes in like that. You open it up, and then you crimp it down, and this closes it, and it'll take all these kind of seams here and cinch it down to the foam, because the foam has got little metal rods embedded in the foam. So I'm just going to start, I guess. Let's start at the very back here, where I see a hole. I think it's just one here, one here, one here, one here. I left the back ones on, I believe. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I think I left the back ones on. Good. I don't have to get to those. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. First time doing this, so Okay, I got the Hog Rings across here, 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 and here. Not that hard. See this? See that? They're right here. And it's the only thing that's hard is if you don't have a piece of wood or something underneath this to support it, then you're pushing against that spring thing, and this thing just keeps it, and you can't get to it. So you could do that, and you really got to push down to get it to hook up right here. And then, yeah. So I got that done. There aren't any other ones. Oh, there's some down along the sides. Okay, so I got all the hog rings there. This is this plastic insert that just pushes and clips into the bottom plastic. Yeah. So pretty much restored this. This is pretty high, but it will flatten it out. I'm 200 pounds, so that will flatten out. Now I just got that plastic trim that goes around here. Yeah. All right. Well, ready to put it in. Not perfect, but at least it's stiff there. Stiffer. And officially done. It's pretty easy to get it back in. That's the easiest part. So here we are. Still the old seat, but it's got a lot of cushion right here. Really nice. It'll flatten out a little bit more after I sit on it for a while. But yeah, you know, if you got these kind of issues, you can do it. You can always get seat foam somewhere and do it, you know what I mean? So, wow, 73 degrees, 40 degrees at night. As soon as 3:30 comes along, it's just gets super cold here. But anyways, John, and I'm done with this one.